Many times in life, we meet people who change the course of our life forever. It could be someone who offered you a new job on a flight. It could be someone whom you met on a volunteer work. Could be a stranger who donated an organ of his to you after a conversation in a bus. This could all happen to people. I met Anne in a shelter home during my days in college, and of all the things that she could ask a stranger, she asked me if I could give her a couple of storybooks. Me being in hostel in a college in Kochi, I did not have any storybooks. I knew people who did. I went back to college, asked two of my good friends, Cindy and Arundhati, we have to get her some books. Can you do something about it? They were like, okay. And they come back with a couple of chumbucks, if I'm right, and 2 famous fives. And they gifted to Anne, and they come back to me asking, Noel, how can we do this again? I had absolutely no answer for that. We named this program Storytime, and this is our story. Sitting across a coffee table with Arundhati and Cindy that day, I did not know that conversation 3 years back would later on go to empowering thousands of kids in India. None of us had an idea. When was the last time any of you read a storybook? We have all read these storybooks as kids. And you know what happens to these storybooks when we are done with that? It goes onto a shelf, catches dust, and later to be eaten by termites. This is a true story. Sad but true. 3 of us knew this was happening across a lot of households in India, at least Kochi to start with. So we thought, okay, here's the plan. We collect all these used storybooks from households in the city, and we use them to set up a library somewhere else. This was the empirical idea that 3 of us had. We were not trained for this, and we had zero clue on how we would do this. There is a huge difference between an idea and a plan. We had an idea, we were far away from a plan. Very typical of engineering students in the state. When we decided to change the world, the first thing we did was to start a Facebook page and a website, because we had computer students. And what did we do? We asked people to like the page, share the page, and comment on beautiful quotes that we post about reading books. We asked people to donate books through the Facebook page, website, vagara, vagara. Nothing worked. Something was wrong. We knew that we were not reaching people who had these. We decided to get our hands dirty. We wrote on chits of paper saying, your used books can change the world. This is one of those papers that we documented. This was saying, turn used books useful, donate a storybook today. And on the other side, it says, your used books can change the world. And we were handing it out, standing on the street, in college uniforms, after 4:30. Me and my group of friends were doing this. Did not work. More ridiculous, we went to the International Book Fair, which was happening in Kochi, and we were standing there at the exit, handing these to everyone who comes with bags full of books. Does not work. Where do we get these books from? We were so passionate with this idea and did not have a plan. We sat down, we thought for a minute, who other than children would have these books? Children themselves. So the next step was to go to a private school in Kochi and ask the headmistress, Madam, this is the plan. Can we go around your classrooms and ask the kids for one storybook each? We were flooded with books. We couldn't be happier. We had so much books now. We were still away from a plan of where to set this up. We reached out to a little primary government school in Kochi and asked them if they wanted some storybooks. They said, yes, okay, come over with books. So we go to the school with boxes of books, expecting a space, a shelf, and probably a librarian to take care of all this. We couldn't be more wrong. Studies say that 40% of public schools in India does not have a library. The situation is worse in rural parts of the country. We were in Kochi, a very happening city in South India, and we were finding schools which does not have a room or a single shelf. We were not prepared for this. We had to go back to college, ask people, guys, we have a lot of books. We don't have a shelf. Please help. We were being crowdfunded in 20s, 40s, and 50 rupees. And we ended up setting up our first library in a small school. Yep, that's me in my college days. These were my friends. This is the first shelf that we assembled that day to set up a small reading corner in that school. The next question was, what do we do with the rest of the books? You saw all those boxes of books out there. So friends gather again. We think about, okay, so what do we do with the rest? Cindy was the one who proposed, Noel, why don't we do a couple more libraries? I was like, Cindy, even this happened after 4 months of effort. And we were not prepared to go through it again. But then we decided, okay, let's try. Let's try until we are done with the books. So we found out 3 more schools, crowdfunded for 3 more shelves, and was happily done with the project. This was when a teacher from Chennai, her name is Anjali, she messages us on the Facebook page. Don't forget the Facebook page. It's been there, right? So this teacher sends a message on Facebook page saying, okay, guys, I think you can help me set up a library in Chennai. So how do we do this process? How do we go about this? We were so not prepared for this at all. We did not dream outside Kochi, forget outside Kerala. We come to it again, okay, this looks like a challenge. This is good, let's do it. We were students in college, plenty of time in hand, a lot of energy, and wanting to change the world. We pick up our phones, call our friends in Chennai to see if they can help. They said yes. That is how a small group of friends in Chennai started doing what we were doing in Kochi. There was this big confusion in the group, thinking, what are we planning with this? We were all engineering students who were supposed to be learning digital system design, system architecture. What are solid-state devices and the waves, the technology, how to build the next big thing, and tech startups, all that stuff. And we were this group of friends who were building little libraries. The program, which we lovingly call Storytime, has now developed into a platform where we design human-centered spaces where kids can learn. Today, a network of youngsters within the country and outside India are supporting the cause. How do we do this? A lot of people ask me, this being an all-voluntary movement with everyone who's involved with the project having other jobs to sustain their health and living, how does this happen? What I say is share the idea. If you have an idea, don't keep it to yourself. Talk about it. Talk about it while you're on a flight. Talk about it while you're on the bus. Talk about it while you travel. Talk to your cousins. Talk to your friends. Talk to your friends of friends. This is what we do. And when people contact us, we train them over the internet on how to set up a small library in their small town. We send out messages on Facebook asking schools if they want one. We design spaces with the kids, how the kids want it to be. We don't want to plant a library which the kids do not want in their space. We design with the kids. And when it comes to cutting cost, there has been amazing moments when the kids have come up with innovative ideas. One time, I remember asking a kid, "What do you want in your library?" The kid comes up with an answer, "Cheta, we need a bean bag." I don't know how that fits into your idea of a space to learn, but if that is the idea that you have, we're going to try it out. We could not afford a bean bag. That's how a set of school kids and our volunteers came together with the idea of transforming XXL T-shirts into bean bags. We take a used T-shirt, fill it up with tailoring waste that you get in plenty in tailor shops, the links, as they call it. Fill it up, and there you have a XXL bean bag for a primary school kid. There has been plenty of innovations in the process. This was our first library in Chennai, a story associated with this. There are kids who come early to school to use the library these days. There are kids who eat their midday meals as fast as possible to come to the space. It's a space in Velachery in Chennai where this space was used to store junk, and we had to clean this up and make it into this. This is how we revamped a little library in a 120-plus-year-old school, and the library was like abandoned for the past 12 years, and this was the transformation. This is a project which was very recently crowdfunded in Bangalore, where we use used tires and materials to set up furniture for the library. This happened in Mumbai, where a teacher named Komal wanted her classroom to have a library of its own with a very, very welcoming visual. This is an image from Kochi, where a kid from a private school not only helped another school set up a library, but also go to them to read it. This image is from Jharkhand. This is another storytelling session from Kerala. It's a visual from Singapore, where people come together to collect books. A university students group in Sharjah who has been collecting books. 5-year-olds in Dubai who move from house to house collecting storybooks for India. Over this period of time, it's been 24 such reading spaces across 6 states of the country, making use of 13,000 used books. The message I leave is our education system will have a lot of systemic issues, but let's do our bit and encourage others to do their bit. Thank you so much.